I never thought a computer program would save my life. But when my 9-year-old son's AI chatbot started sending him warnings about his father, I learned that sometimes the most unlikely sources tell us the truth we're too afraid to see ourselves. It was a Tuesday evening in March, 10 years ago. I was 35, had been married to Blake for 5 years, and thought I understood the man I shared my life with. I was a high school English teacher in Denver. Blake worked in tech sales, or so he said. Our son Noah was 9, born when I was 26, before Blake and I even met. Blake had adopted him when we married, and Noah called him Dad. We seemed like the perfect modern family. That night, I was grading essays at our kitchen table when Noah came downstairs, tablet clutched to his chest. The look on his face stopped me cold. "Mom," he said quietly, "I need to show you something, but you have to promise not to get mad." "What is it, honey?" I set down my red pen. "I've been using character AI. I know you said only 30 minutes a day, but I've been on longer." His voice was small, guilty. "We'll talk about screen time later. What did you want to show me?" He placed the tablet on the table. On the screen was a chatbot conversation. He'd created an AI character called Dad and had been feeding it information, texts from Blake's phone that he'd apparently been sneaking looks at for weeks. "I was just playing around," Noah said, "making a dad bot so I could practice talking to him about stuff. You know how he's always busy." His voice cracked, but then the bot started saying weird things the real dad wouldn't say. I looked at the screen. The AI conversation was chilling. Noah had typed, "Dad, are you happy?" The AI responded, "I'm stressed about money. Very stressed. Your mom doesn't know how bad it is." "How bad is it?" "Bad enough that I've had to consider solutions she wouldn't approve of. Permanent solutions." My blood went cold. "Noah, when did you see this?" 3 days ago. I kept asking it questions. "And Mom, it keeps saying scary things." He scrolled up. "Look." The messages got worse. Noah had asked the AI what permanent solutions meant. The bot had responded based on pattern recognition from Blake's actual text messages Noah had fed it. Insurance solves problems. 2.5 million solves a lot of problems. I pulled my son close, my heart hammering. "Show me what else." We spent an hour going through it. Noah had been incredibly thorough in his 9-year-old way. He'd taken screenshots of Blake's text messages, his email notifications, even photos of documents Blake left on his desk. He'd fed hundreds of pieces of information into this AI, trying to understand his stepfather better, trying to predict his moods and reactions. Instead, the AI had detected a pattern Noah's child brain couldn't fully grasp, but I could. My husband was planning to kill me. That night, after I put Noah to bed with promises that everything would be okay, I went to Blake's home office. He was at a client dinner, which now took on a sinister meaning. Using the passwords I'd always known, I logged into his laptop. What I found made me physically ill. Blake wasn't in tech sales anymore. He'd been fired 8 months ago and never told me. Instead, he'd been day trading cryptocurrency, convinced he could make it big. He'd lost everything. Our savings, his inheritance, money he'd borrowed from loan sharks I didn't know existed in real life. He was $800,000 in debt. The emails told the story. Threatening messages from people with names like Dimitri and Kostya, demands for payment, threats against our family. And then, about 6 weeks ago, a shift in Blake's responses. "I'm working on a solution. Give me 3 months. The life insurance policy is active now. 2.5 million. I've made contact with someone who can help. Professionals." I found the messages to the professional, a man who called himself Reaper626 on an encrypted messaging app. Blake had been careful, but not careful enough. The conversation was coded, but clear. Timeline, mid-April. Location, home invasion scenario, make it look random. Target, wife. $250K from policy, rest from my pocket within 6 months. Mid-April was 3 weeks away. I couldn't breathe. The man I'd married, the man who'd adopted my son, read him bedtime stories, coached his soccer team, was going to have me murdered so he could pay off gambling debts. I heard the garage door open. Blake was home. I closed everything, shut down the computer exactly as I'd found it, and went to the bathroom. I threw up, then splashed water on my face. When I came out, Blake was in the kitchen. loosening his tie. "Hey, babe," he said, kissing my cheek. His lips felt like ice. "How was your day?" "Fine," I managed. "How was dinner?" "Exhausting. This client is so demanding." He pulled a beer from the fridge. "Is Noah asleep?" "Yeah, he was tired." "Good kid." Blake smiled, and for a moment he looked like the man I'd fallen in love with. "I'm lucky to have you both." "I'm lucky to have you both." The words of a man planning my murder. That night, I lay awake next to him, listening to him breathe. Every time he shifted, I tensed, wondering if tonight was the night, if Reaper 626 had changed the timeline, if I'd wake up to a stranger in a mask, or not wake up at all. At dawn, I texted my best friend Amanda. She was a defense attorney, sharp as they come, and had never quite warmed to Blake. "Trust your gut," she'd told me once. "Something about him doesn't sit right." We met at a coffee shop at 7 a.m. Before school. I showed her everything. Noah's AI conversations, screenshots of Blake's messages, the emails, the crypto losses, the hitman contact. Amanda's face went pale, then hard. "Rachel, you need to go to the FBI. Today. This is contract murder, organized crime involvement, everything. And you need protection." "What about Noah? What about school and his life and what about you being alive?" Amanda gripped my hand. "Let me make some calls." By noon, I was sitting in a federal building downtown, talking to FBI agent Martinez. He was a quiet man in his 40s, with kind eyes that had seen too much. He listened to everything, examined the evidence Noah had collected, and then said something that surprised me. "The person your husband contacted, Reaper 626, he's already on our radar. He's been under investigation for 6 months. He's actually an undercover agent." The room spun. "What?" "Your husband tried to hire an FBI agent to kill you. The good news is, you were never in real danger from that angle. The bad news is, your husband is absolutely serious about this. We've been building a case, waiting for the right moment." Agent Martinez leaned forward. "Mrs. Hoffman, how would you feel about helping us close this case?" "What do you need me to do?" "Wear a wire. Get him to talk about it. We already have the messages, but we need verbal confirmation. Clear intent. Can you do that?" "Could I? Could I sit across from my husband and get him to confess to planning my murder?" I thought about Noah, about his AI chatbot detecting danger his mother had missed, about his intelligence, his careful collection of evidence, about the life I wanted him to have, safe from a man who saw us as obstacles to his financial freedom. "Yes," I said, "I'll do it." They spent 3 days preparing me. The wire was nearly invisible, placed under my clothes. They coached me on how to guide the conversation, what phrases to use, how to stay calm. Agent Martinez and his team would be listening from a van outside our house. The plan was simple. I'd confront Blake about the money, push him until he revealed everything. It had to be natural, believable. A wife discovering her husband's financial ruin. That Saturday, Noah went to Amanda's house for a sleepover. He hugged me hard before he left. "The chatbot says everything will be okay, Mom," he whispered. "I asked it if you'd be safe, and it said yes based on probability factors. I love you, baby. Everything will be okay." Blake was in his office when I came in. I'd printed out bank statements, crypto transaction records, everything I could access legally. I threw them on his desk. "Want to explain this?" He looked up, face going pale. "Rachel, $800,000, Blake. 800,000. You lost everything. Our savings, your inheritance, money you borrowed from." I picked up a paper. "People named Dmitri and Kostya? Who are they? How did you?" He stood up, angry now. "You went through my computer?" "My computer. This is our house, our shared laptop, remember?" "Nothing to hide," you said. I was shaking but kept my voice steady. "So tell me, who are these people? Why do you owe them $800,000? Blake's face went through a series of expressions. Anger, fear, calculation. Then, something shifted. He sat down heavily. "I got in over my head," he said quietly. "Crypto. I thought I could make enough to retire early, give us the life we deserve, but I lost it all. And then I borrowed money I shouldn't have. From loan sharks. From private lenders." He looked up at me. They're not patient people, Rachel. So what's your plan? How do you pay them back? This was the moment. I could see him weighing his options, deciding how much to tell me. The wire under my shirt felt like it was burning. I have a plan, he said finally. It's not ideal, but it solves everything. What plan? The life insurance policy. The one I took out on you last year. Remember? $2.5 million. My mouth went dry. That's for if something happens to me. How does that help with debt now? Blake looked at me, and for the first time, I saw him clearly. The mask was off. His eyes were cold, calculating. Things happen, Rachel. Accidents. Denver has a high crime rate. Home invasions, carjackings, tragedies. I had to force the words out. Are you saying what I think you're saying? I'm saying that if something unfortunate happened, the policy would pay out. I could clear the debts, pay off Dmitri and Kostya, start fresh with Noah. He'd be fine. Kids are resilient. Start fresh without me. You're talking about murdering me. Don't be dramatic. But he wasn't denying it. I'm talking about solving a problem. I'm not a problem. I'm your wife. You're a teacher making $45,000 a year. His voice rose. You're dead weight in this financial crisis. The insurance policy makes you worth more dead than alive, don't you understand? And you've already arranged it, haven't you? Keep him talking. The messages to Reaper. Mid-April. A home invasion. Blake froze. How do you know that name? I know everything, Blake. I've known for days. The crypto losses, the debts, the hitman you hired, all of it. His face transformed into something ugly, frightening. If you know everything, then you know I'm out of options. Dmitri doesn't make idle threats. If I don't pay, he kills me. He kills Noah. So what choice do I have? You could have told me. We could have declared bankruptcy, sold the house. I could have gotten a second job and lived like peasants for years, decades, while everyone knows I failed. He laughed, bitter. This way is cleaner. This way is murder. This way is survival. He moved around the desk toward me. And now that you know, what are you going to do about it? Go to the police? Tell them your husband is in debt? They can't arrest me for owing money. They can arrest you for conspiracy to commit murder. Prove it. Those messages are encrypted, sent from secure devices. It's your word against mine. And Rachel, who do you think they'll believe? The hysterical wife or the concerned husband who says his spouse is having a mental breakdown? He was close now. Too close. I backed toward the door. Unless, Blake said slowly, you have some kind of evidence. Did you record this conversation, Rachel? Are you wearing a wire? My heart stopped. He reached for me. The front door burst open. FBI! Hands where I can see them. Agent Martinez and 4 other agents flooded into the house, guns drawn. Blake spun around, confusion and rage on his face. Blake Hoffman, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, wire fraud, and money laundering. Martinez cuffed him while reading his rights. Blake's eyes found mine. You set me up. You tried to have me killed, I said. My voice was steady now. I just made sure you couldn't. They took him away. I stood in our living room, the wire being carefully removed by a female agent, and felt nothing. Numbness, shock, relief, horror, everything and nothing all at once. Agent Martinez stayed behind. We got everything. His confession was clear, detailed. Combined with the messages to our undercover agent, he's looking at 25 to 30 years minimum. What about Dmitri and Kostya? Are they real? Very real. And very interested in cooperating now that we've arrested your husband. They're looking at RICO charges unless they testify against their other debtors. You and Noah will be safe. And the debt? Not your debt. Blake accrued that in his name only, through illegal gambling operations. You're not liable for any of it. I sat down on the couch where we'd watched movies as a family, and started to cry. The trial took 7 months. The evidence was overwhelming. Blake's messages to Reaper 626, the financial records, my recorded confession, testimony from the loan sharks hoping for reduced sentences. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. 28 years in federal prison. I sold the house, moved Noah and myself to Boulder. Smaller place, fresh start. Noah struggled for a while. Nightmares, anger, confusion about why his dad had tried to hurt his mom. We did therapy, family sessions, individual counseling. Slowly, he healed. Kids are resilient, Blake had said. He was right about that at least. But Noah was also brilliant. The AI chatbot that had detected his stepfather's murderous intent fascinated him. He started learning about artificial intelligence, machine learning, pattern recognition. By 13, he was coding his own programs. By 16, he'd built an app that analyzed text messages and social media posts for warning signs of domestic violence. "I want to help other kids," he told me when he showed me the prototype. "Kids who know something is wrong but don't know how to prove it, like I did." Now Noah is 19, studying computer science at MIT. His app, Safe Pattern, has been downloaded over 1 million times. It's helped identify dozens of domestic violence situations, potentially saving countless lives. Law enforcement agencies use versions of it to detect threats. I'm 45 now, teaching at a community college in Boulder. I never remarried. Trust doesn't come easily after what I went through. But I'm happy. I have my son, my work, my students. I have morning coffee on my small balcony, watching the flatirons turn pink at sunrise. I have quiet evenings grading papers while Noah video calls from Cambridge to tell me about his latest project. Blake is still in federal prison in Pennsylvania. He'll be 70 when he gets out, if he lives that long. I got a letter from him once, about 2 years ago. I never opened it. I don't need his apologies or his justifications. I don't think about him at all if I can help it. But I think about that AI chatbot every day, about how my 9-year-old son, just trying to understand his complicated stepfather, accidentally created a tool that detected homicidal intent, about how technology, something I'd always been a little afraid of, ended up being the thing that saved my life. Sometimes people ask me if I regret marrying Blake, if I wish I could go back and change things. I don't, because if I hadn't married him, I wouldn't have learned the most important lesson of my life. Trust your instincts, trust your children, and sometimes trust the technology they're using in ways you don't fully understand. Noah's AI chatbot saw patterns in Blake's messages that I missed. It detected the escalating danger, the financial pressure, the calculating decision to choose murder over honesty. It warned us in time. If you're reading this and something feels wrong in your relationship, if your child is trying to tell you something scary about someone you love, if the signs are there but you're explaining them away, please listen. Listen to the quiet voice inside that says, something isn't right. Listen to your children when they come to you worried, even if it seems impossible. Listen to the evidence, even when it breaks your heart. I almost didn't. I almost told Noah his chatbot was just a game, that it couldn't possibly understand human behavior, that his stepfather loved us and would never hurt us. I almost dismissed it all. Thank God I didn't. Thank God for a 9-year-old boy who loved technology and wanted to understand his dad better. Thank God for an AI program that recognized a pattern of danger in texts and emails and financial records. Thank God I chose to believe the evidence over the man I'd promised to love forever. It saved my life. It saved Noah's life. And now, through Noah's work, it's helping save others. You're stronger than you think. You're smarter than they expect. And you have resources you might not even know about yet. Technology, friends, law enforcement, professionals who can help. Use them. Trust yourself. Trust your children. Trust the signs that something's wrong, even when you don't want to believe it. You deserve better than a love that might kill you. We all do.